Today we're having a look at Hettner Landing in Walker Flat. We're actually going to be checking out Llanbatten Reserve. There's quite a few sites here along the river, as you can see. This looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. So let's go check it out. Depending which way you go, Hettner Landing is approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes from Adelaide CBD, around about 115 kilometres. As soon as you get to Walker Flat, you'll see Hettner Landing Reserve. Now the drive in is not long at all. And welcome to Hettner Landing. Hettner Landing is located in Walker Flat. If you want to get some supplies, there's a general store right there. There's actually two general stores, one near the ferry and one right next to this campground. Phone reception at Hettner Landing is good on Telstra. The other providers, not as good. You can pretty much set up on any platform in this campground. The drive-in is actually quite straightforward and not difficult. The sites aren't numbered, but you can clearly see where they are. It's a big camp, and just look how lovely that river is. Watch it sparkle. So let's make our way to the first ones. In this particular area, there's plenty of room to maneuver, a slight incline towards the back, but the rest of it's pretty flat. There is a fire pit in the middle that you can use a fire. You can certainly have fires here outside of fire danger season. My take on this particular site is it's probably not as frequently used as others, as it's quite away from the river. It's also worth noting it's quite away from the toilet block, and also it's the closest to the road. Hettner Landing has a toilet block, which only has one toilet and quite a few picnic tables around the place. There's even a specific area for day trippers if you just want to go there for a day and hang out. There are bins as well, so you can put your rubbish in there. And it is dog friendly. Now let's move on to the next site. It's on the opposite side of where we just were. It's flat, there's a fire pit. You can also tell it's not as commonly used as the other ones, but it's big, it's easy access. It does have the similar downsides to what we saw before. Far away from the toilet, close to the main road, and not as close to the river. As we move closer, you can start to see the river. Now this particular site is actually not too bad. It's flat, there's a fire pit just like the others, and you can just drive straight through. Very handy if you've got a camper trailer or similar. Moving right along to the opposite side, which is extremely flat, and this would be another drive-through site. Plenty of room to maneuver, and it's a big space, so you can have a couple of people join you on this particular one. I found the phone reception here extremely good. It really helped me when I had to take that unforeseen work call. As you can see, you're much closer to the river here than the other places. This next site is quite small, but you got river frontage. You have a picnic table, but the downside is you're right next to the dock and these bins. And keep in mind, these bins aren't for your use that are inside those gates. It's for the vessels. And the reason why I say it's small is because there's a gate to a private property there and you don't want to be blocking that off. Now, with all that being said, there's a nice fire pit and you have a lovely river view. As we move on past these vessel bins, we head to the next site. This is a tiny site. Really, I'd just be putting a swag or a tent here. But you got quite nice river frontage and a fire pit. Here we are at the next site. Flat ground, you can drive in pretty easily, got the fire pit. You don't have river access and it's quite a high bank. Here, and certainly along this stretch, you start to feel connected to the river and really feel like you're river camping, especially with these beautiful trees in front of you. You're probably wondering why we call this site Wendy's site, because we met this lovely lady called Wendy. Wendy told us about all her adventures and how she did up her rig. When she found out what we were doing, she was very excited because she's been looking for people to provide her information about going to campsites. So thank you, Wendy, we appreciate you watching. We go camping, we always like to have green grass, pristine river coverage and easy access for boats or kayaks or canoes or whatever you've got. Certainly, this next area is exactly that. Unfortunately, you can't camp here. This is for day trippers. River access here is straightforward, nice and easy. As we continue along, you will see that the banks are quite high from the river. It does come equipped with a barbecue area and a couple of picnic tables. Alright, let's go check out the toilet block. There's only one toilet, but it's roomy enough, there's running water, and it's a flushing toilet. And now, you should have a pretty good understanding where the toilet is compared to the other sites. Just a quick walk past the barbecue facilities to look at the next site here, which is more of a slip lane really, and on a bit of an angle, but as you get closer in, you start to see where the fire pit is, so you're a little bit tucked in. I reckon you can set up pretty comfortably in this little nook. let's make our way to the last section of this campground. Keep in mind, we are starting to get further away from the toilet block. This particular site we're at is very open. There's not a lot of trees, not a lot of shade. So keep that in mind if you're staying here and you are set back from the river. The screen around you does allow for a bit of privacy. Let's get back to the riverfront here and check out these last remaining sites. This is a nice riverside spot. It's flat, you can drive straight through, there's a picnic table, and if you notice, even though the bank's quite high, there's a little lip here that you can launch off if you want. It's a lovely view, and certainly you've got a lot of flexibility here in terms of placement. Directly opposite is another site that's set back from the river. It's on an angle, there's no shelter. If you set up properly, you'll get a decent view of the river, unless someone's in front of you. And here's another riverfront slip lane campsite that comes equipped with a picnic table, lovely trees that provide you shelter, and that wonderful view. This next one's a bit out in the open, but still lovely riverside camping. Has your picnic table. We also didn't really see much of a defined fire pit. But bear in mind, right behind you is a huge turning circle. So you'll get people coming down here and turning around. You don't have to particularly walk too far to the bins. They're just right there in the back corner. If you need a lot of room to maneuver, this is a great area because you do have that big turning circle. So you can line up whatever you have, whatever platform you've got, to that perfect spot. If you prefer higher ground, this next one is great. Right on the top, has a lovely view. There's even a walking path that you can go up. And at the top, it's flat ground. There's a beautiful shady tree. Just watch out for the cacti and enjoy that lovely river view. Finally, we're at the last place where you can set up camp. It's pretty easy access. You've got a road that goes all the way around, so you won't need to reverse in. Quite handy if you've got quite a big platform, but absolute riverfront. That's a wrap for Lembatten Reserve. It's a very nice spot. This is the only green section in here, which unfortunately you can't camp on, but that's okay. Come, enjoy the water, enjoy the facilities, just next to Walker Flat. Have a good time. And remember, camp by me and you'll be a happy camper. Don't forget to check out our social media. Just search for Camp by Me. And also, remember to subscribe on YouTube. It is free.
Rolling.
Rolling. Oh, the boat's turning around and a car's coming. That's all right. Always when we're about to just do the intro and they're going to pull up right in front of us. How are you?
We're interrupting.
No. The boat is. I reckon this one's the safest one though. Let's give it a go. Oh, look at that. Bit of pine. You gotta smell the wood, Anna. You gotta smell it. Yeah, it's pine. Okay. Oh, no, too much. No more kids for us. Here we go. Oh, I was a bit underrated.